Hello Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your January 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you are interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be linked and located in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, and before we clear the energy space, please know that there is somebody impostering me, contacting you in the comment box below. That is not me. They are asking if you would like a reading with them, giving you the name daneharttarot@yahoo.com. It's what they were using at that moment. I'm sure they've changed it. They have been blocked. But just know that that is not me. I will not be contacting you, soliciting you for any reason. So please do know that. Please do know that and be aware. Okay, now with that said, let's clear the energy space, raising our energy vibration and releasing any negativity. Oh, do know that they also have the icon as my icon. They have the name as my name. So just be aware of that, okay? So once again, releasing all negativity, clearing the energy vibration, and raising ourselves up. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from your body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Taurus, January 1st to the 15th, 2021 Taurus. 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 Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, show me clearly. Fantastic. So we use these until we get to the end. Okay, perfect. And 2 bonus cards. Absolutely beautiful. It seemed like so much more when they fell down. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay. Now I have to take a moment and talk about this deck, because this deck isn't quite like any other, and you'll be seeing that when we turn them over. It has a very a different feel to it, a different setup of the major arcana, so I'm not going to be equating any of these cards back to the zodiac as I usually do. This will be done with the Going Deeper deck, which is the Animal Totem deck. This one is the Witch's Wisdom, and I just felt so drawn to it. I thought it was absolutely stunning, and also the person who created it, her name is Phyllis. I forget her last name, but that when my grandmother Anglicanized her first name, she went by Phyllis, and I just had to. And this is so deeply connected with ancestral energy that I thought it was just kismet, you know? Okay, so just having to say that, I felt this huge urge to share that, just so that you know that this deck is going to be just a little bit different, but highly, highly, highly enchanting. I just find it enchanting. Okay, so let's see what the chakra energy is for this time. Taurus, January 1st to the 15th, 2021 Taurus. January 1st to the 15th, 2021 Taurus. January 1st to the 15th, 2021 Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. Oh, and because Spirit is saying, say what her name was before she Anglicanized it. It was Philomena, and she Anglicanized it to Phyllis. So I don't know why. You know, just a shout out to my grandma then in the spirit realm. So we have here your chakra cards, and let's see what they are. We have angels and masters, angels and divinity right here. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above your crown. Ooh, goodness, as everything falls. Set the heart back up against the rose, or against the rose quartz. Will it stay? Oh, no. Okay, so it's just going to lay down. Then we have play with the heart chakra. And we'll see how these all equate to the tarot in just a moment. And we have forgiveness with the heart chakra. Ooh, your heart chakra is strong during this time, and that's absolutely beautiful. So the left-hand side here is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self, with 2 bonus cards. So we have the 10 of Earth, the 10 of Pentacles, the 8 of Air. You have the Guardian, and the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Water, the 10 of Cups, the 6 of Air, the Goddess of Earth, which is you shining through. Oh, I love it. We have the 3 of Air, the 3 of Swords, the Craftsman of Fire, which is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have the Craftsman of Air. Now the Craftsmen come through, they equate to the Queens in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but because they have different energy, we're just going to kind of not ignore that is going to be part of the energy that is about them, but there's an added depth to it. Then we have the Sun, gorgeous. The 2 of Swords, the 2 of Air, the 6 of Water, the 6 of Cups, the 3 of Water, the 3 of Cups, the 4 of Air, the 4 of Swords. Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. Okay, let's see the people who will be aiding you during this time. Who will be aiding Taurus? January 1st to the 15th, 2021 Taurus. Who will be aiding Taurus? January 1st to the 15th, 2021 Taurus. Who will be aiding Taurus? January 1st to the 15th, 2021 Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, goodness. Okay, so these 4 right here. And, you know, I've been meditating a lot about the state of the world and everything that we've been going through. And when I initially did the readings around everything that is going on, it gave me the time frame of Virgo. And I just want to put this out there, which is August 23rd to September 22nd. And when all this started in the world, I thought, oh my gosh, how could that ever be of 2020, you know, that time frame? Now I'm beginning to think that it was of 2021 that they were talking about. But because that wasn't even in my scope of understanding, I didn't see it that way. So I think things will be returning to normal, like just having that normal feel around the time of Virgo, just to give people that sense of things moving forward in a very beautiful way, because that's what I feel around 2021. Even just saying it, I don't know if it's just because 2020 was so hard, it just feels like it's like, okay, good, now we can move forward. So let's see here. We have the Queen of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is a person, they don't necessarily have to be an air sign energy. This is going to be a person who uses their mind, who is very interconnected with the way that they see things, is very much in their own element. So they might come off a bit aloof, but that's because, again, they are so much in their own element that they're surrounded by it. It's guiding them, it's moving them forward. So that's going to be a very inspiring aspect to you during this time, the sense of the Queen of Swords, the sense of staying in your mind, of knowing what it is that you desire. And you're going to be very drawn to people like that, whether it be in the real world or whether it be people that you meet online or through media in one form of another. There is going to be the sense that they have this way with words, and they are in the element of who they are quite profoundly. And it then leads you to the Lord. This is Aries energy, time frame March 21st to April 19th. This is a person who's very powerful. They can be a bit stubborn. Taurus, you know, especially if you're on the cusp with Aries, this is going to be somebody you're very drawn to, but you can also find them very exasperating. It's like, oh my goodness, you know, a little bit of give would be nice, but you're also very much inspired by their tenacity, their drive forward, their focus, the way that they can put things together. And you're going to be incorporating that a lot within yourself, because there is a sense here. It's like, this is me. This is who I need to be. This is who I want to be. And this is how I'm moving forward. And it brings you to you. It brings you to the blessing of you coming forward with the Taurus energy here. Now, it can be that you're connecting with another Taurian, and then, you know, you guys kind of really line up really well. But this is also a sense of a person who's going to be blessing you during this time, who's going to be aiding you, is going to be yourself, the way that you look at things. It doesn't mean that you're always going to be right. It does mean that you are going to have this fantastic insight, understanding, you know, power, passion to you that is just, it changes the game. It really does. It changes the game and it moves you forward. And it brings you then to the Queen of Pentacles, earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And again, because you're an earth sign energy, Taurus, you're going to be very, very drawn to this sense of power, this sense of coming together, this sense of understanding. You know, this vibrational energy is just going to be flowing through you. And that's why you're going to be very drawn to people who are in alignment with your vibrational energy. If people are lower than you, you're going to find yourself distancing yourself from them, because it's just not going to be a place that you want to be, a way that you want to move forward. There is a sense here with your chakra cards, most definitely, and with the power of, you know, the guardian and the witch of earth and the sun and the craftsman coming forward, and also the blessings coming forward and the releasing of negative energy, especially as we start a new year. It feels like, yeah, it feels like that deep kind of exhale, that deep sense of I can start anew. It's like a new start forward. And you have your angels guarding you during this time. It's like you are deeply protected. You are deeply loved. You are deeply cared for. And that's going to be so absolutely pivotal to you, especially after leaving a year where it could feel like, wow, I felt alone. I felt overwhelmed. You know, things got scary real fast, and I didn't know how to traverse this terrain. And so here, you're letting your angels guide you in a way that might not have been possible before because of all the chatter that is around us. And there is a sense here of divinity really walking with you, and an alignment of your core self, an alignment of where you need to be and how you want to move forward. And just know that during this time, your angels have you cocooned in their wings. They're cocooning you, and it's like a heart being around you. And there is a need here not to take everything so seriously, because we have the whopper of the card of forgiveness coming forward. But when play comes into play, you know, there's a sense of letting jubilance guide your heart, of letting love be a huge part of who it is that you are and how it is that you want to move forward, and the love that you are calling into your life. And there's a need here for your heart's well-being and for the enjoyment of your life, to let there be smiles, to let there be laughter, because that's going to be so powerful for you. Even if it's just, you know, turning on the TV and listening to something funny and thinking, okay, it might be silly me sitting here laughing, but I feel so much better afterwards. And it's taking that laughter and it's and it's holding on to it. It's holding on to the sense of jubilance, to the sense of play, to the sense of abandon. It's kind of like a little kid when they play and they laugh, and it just makes everybody around them laugh because there's such abandon to it. There's such freedom and genuineness to it that it really is quite extraordinary. And that's what you're embracing here in a very real and very powerful way. And it brings you to forgiveness. It brings you to the forgiveness of the things that you cannot change. And we can see that coming up, especially with the three of cups here, the three of water, the washing the way of the pain. And it's coming up in other aspects of your reading, even with this tree right here in the shape of the heart with the two of air. It's like, okay, I can move forward because I'm forgiving. Not only the people that need to be forgiven, because a lot of people who wrong us, they don't even realize it. They're like, oh, well, what's wrong with you that you had to be so sensitive? Or, why did you take it that way? And they put it back on you. And you're like, thanks. That's not what you should have done. It's a forgiveness of ourselves. It's like, I forgive me for letting you have so much power. Even though I was small, even though I had no say over this, I'm not living in this hurt, in this pain, in this disappointment any longer. I'm letting it go because it's that release. It's like, you couldn't do better. And that's super sad for you, not for me. And Taurus, you're freeing yourself. You're freeing yourself and you're forgiving yourself. And you're moving forward in a way that is powerful and divinely guided and beautiful. And that's one of the reasons why your angels are holding on to you so tightly and why you're being told to embrace play, to embrace happiness, to embrace joy, because there are these forgivenesses that are coming forward. And it can be a lot of things that you've been holding on to where you sit there and it's like, oh, I should have known better. I shouldn't have made that decision. I can't believe I was, so naive, so in love, so young. And it's a sense of, okay, you know what? I can't live in the past anymore. It's made me wiser. It's made me stronger. It's made me smarter. All right? And I might not have chosen those lessons ever in my life. If I had to, never would I have. Most definitely. But they were lived. And now I need to move forward in a healing of my heart for me. Because, oh my gosh, Taurus, you Taurians, there is such power here for you. There is such power. And we begin this journey with the 10 of Earth, with the 10 of Pentacles. And with your inner self, you begin it with the 10 of Pentacles and you end it with the 10 of Cups. So astounding. You begin it with a completion of a cycle when it comes to finances, a completion of a cycle when it comes to your path forward. And I don't know how true this is, but I believe hearing that mushrooms have more in common with mammals than they do with plants. And I don't know if that's true at all, but it's almost like here, there's something that you hear, there's something that, comes into play, and it sets you on a path where you find out that you have more in common with a path that you hadn't thought of taking, with a prosperity that hadn't been a part of your world before, and that you were either miscategorizing yourself or you were miscategorized by others. And it's like, wow, now I'm stepping into my power. Now I'm stepping into my truth. I'm seeing the path that I need to walk to get me to where I need to be. And that's going to be astounding. It's going to be so much fun too. It's like, yes, this is me. And I know the world has been hard, and I know times have been hard and at times devastating. But there's a sense here of prosperity moving you forward. It's either wealth or something you value as much as money. And as much as I would love everybody to get a big whopping check on their doorstep, sometimes it doesn't happen, though I do hope it does. And there is a sense here of seeing prosperity built, but it's building that prosperity throughout the generations. It's looking at things and redefining and recalling, this power into your life. And it will be affecting not only your generational line, but it will be affecting those who you come in contact with. There's going to be a certain, what do they say, je ne sais quoi, about you that is just going to be beautiful. And I know I probably butchered saying that, but there's just going to be something about you where they can't put it to words. They can't fully understand it, but there's going to be a power to you, and it's helping you soar. I'm just looking at this eagle here, and it's like, my goodness, you soar. You soar above the storms with the 8 of air. Oh my goodness. That is so beautiful, because the 8 of air, the 8 of swords in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the swords are heavy cards. The swords are the mind. The swords are the traps that we get ourselves into, the lies that we believe, the deceits. I'm sorry about my dogs, if you can hear them. But the thing with the eagle is that when the eagle can fly higher than any other bird. And when eagles are harassed, because eagles do get harassed by ravens, even by sparrows, sparrows can gang up on them, but they can fly higher and higher and higher, and they can outfly all other birds. They can even outfly storms. They can go up above the storms and fly in clear, beautiful weather when all the rest of the world is raging below them. And that's really what divinity is calling you towards. It's like, it's time to walk your truth. It's time to walk your path. And it's time to fly above the storms. Because you know what? You've been pulled down too often, too much. Enough is enough. Enough is enough of the hardships and the disappointments and the angers and the upsets and the upheavals and the being trapped, because you're looking at this avenue and you're looking at all, corners of it, and you're looking at this avenue and you're looking at all corners of it, and you're trying to make a wise decision because, life has to be planned for and you can't just go off willy-nilly. But there's also a sense here that if you spend your whole life planning, you don't get to soar. You don't get to enjoy the world around you. You don't get to see it. And there's a sense, really here, of you soaring to new heights and you claiming a power about yourself that wasn't known, that wasn't fully understood, with the goddess of earth. And that's the highest form of the earth cards in this deck. It's like you are entering into this time where you're embracing your inner goddess. You have the goddess energy, and you also have the sun, which is, masculine energy. So you have the sacred feminine and you have the sacred masculine coming forward, embracing a harmony within yourself as you soar. And as you soar, there's a guardianship around you. There is a sense of, I have learned, I have seen, I have gained an understanding. There is a sense of also calling to those around you that have learned, that have seen, that have gained an understanding. There's a strong connection with your ancestors, with the people in your life who you have loved and you have lost. There is a sense here. Oh, it's just so beautiful. It's like, I just keep on getting this sense of just like breathe in and exhale. Just let it all go. Let it all go that you have lived through, that helped shape who you are today, but that you don't want in your life anymore. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm not there. Or, it can be the moment that you're in right now. And it's like, wow, I don't want this. But the way to change it is to first identify it, because that's a huge part. That's a huge part in the mental development and in our personal development, to say, this isn't for me. And that's what the guardian is really helping you with. It's the guardian is sitting there and saying, no, it's your right to soar. It's your right to move forward in this power, in this beauty, in this grace. And there are your spirit animals around you that are going to lead you forward on this journey. There is a crowning, because in ancient, Celtic tradition, in ancient other cultures, you put the horns on your head of a stag, of whatever animal, and it was marking you as king, as guardian of the earth, as you move forward. And you're going to find that you are very much the guardian of your piece of this world, of the way that you move forward in your life. And it doesn't mean the earth that you own, because maybe you can't really own it, but the way that you move forward, the way that you tread upon it, the power that you have within yourself, and the air that you breathe, and the way that you are inspired. And it brings you to the happily ever after card, which is gorgeous. You have this panther looking out right here. You have this toucan up above. You have the frogs. There is a sense all around. And the frogs, what is it, an acronym, I believe, with how you spell frog, F-R-O-G, fully rely on God. Whether you say God or divinity or whatever, that's going to be a huge part of the way you call the blessings into your life, the way that you move yourself forward. There is a freedom coming over you. There is a sense of power and of understanding, and the sense of beauty that is just so powerful. And you're learning where you stand, because when we complete a cycle within our hearts, sometimes we don't always know where it is that we're supposed to be. But we know, like it's sure as heck not here. It's sure as heck moving us towards something more. And the embrace of that heart, the embrace of that passion, the embrace of that love is going to be astounding. It really is. And it's moving us towards our happily ever after. And we always think of our happily ever after like Cinderella. But, I mean, I don't know about you, but becoming a princess or a prince, that would be horrible. That would be absolutely terrible. So not all of us want to be Cinderella, or it doesn't work out the way that you think it's going to. And so here, it's calling forward your idea of happiness, your idea of blessings, your idea of joy. And it's constructing your world that way, because in your inner self, you're going through this transformation. And I know you're probably thinking, Dane, with the year that I've had, I don't want to start off the new year with transformative energy around me. But that's kind of exactly when you want to start it. You are stepping into a new time. You are stepping into, a new grace. And it is transforming and becoming so much more than what you expected. And it's kind of like you're shedding the cloak. You're shedding the sorrow of the year that has passed, but also so much of what you have lived through that has shaped you, excuse me, that has called upon your soul and has tested you time and time again. And now you're stepping into a power. And it leads you right here to the Six of Air. The Six of Swords in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is a person in a boat, a very kind of shallow, it's not a canoe, but it kind of looks like a canoe, boat or gondola with swords in it, and they're moving forward. So it's taking your ideas, it's moving forward. It usually has 3 people in it. And 2 of them, with the mother sitting with the child, they look kind of sad. They do. And here you have the swans together. You have the ducklings right here. And I always think, baby swans as the ugly duckling, like the duckling that doesn't quite fit in. And then they become something exquisite. But the thing with swans is swans are fierce. Within your heart, the fact that you have swans here and the fact that you have the fox in the corner, they're fierce animals. They're beautiful animals, but they're fierce. Swans mate for life. That's what they do. And when you have a swan, they're also fiercely protective, fiercely loyal. They could be absolutely viciously nasty when they want to be. And that's the energy here that's moving you forward. And I know you're sitting there probably and thinking, Dane, I don't want to be viciously nasty. I don't want to, to have that energy around me. Well, you're protecting what is vitally important to you, what you're moving forward in that embraces your heart and calls upon your soul, and what you love, what you're growing for, not always the next generation, but what you're growing that has such power, that will walk on its own, that will be its own entity of understanding, of heartfelt truth, of faith, and of brilliance. And there is a sense here with when I turn it that way, you can't say sorry about that. When you have the fox, it's like, it's the guide. It's the guide throughout these cards that sits there and says, all right, so life is a trick. Life doesn't always work the way that we imagined. We have these ideas when we were little, and as we move forward and we're not meeting the arbitrary, they don't feel like arbitrary goals that we set for ourselves and say, okay, by this age I will be, by this age I will be. But when we let our angels and divinity take control and we move forward in the power of our heart chakra, in the power of our love and our grace and our understanding, it moves us here in a direction we never would have known. We never would have embraced or gone after or even thought of for ourselves. And so you're moving forward in a way that absolutely adheres to who it is that you are, for where it is that you want to be, for the power that is a part of you. And it leads you to you being a goddess, which is glorious, And it leads you to the milk pouring in to the earth. And it's this sense of power and understanding. And I just hear the land of milk and honey, which is promised to people, which was promised in the Bible, right? And it is used as a term sometimes where you were promised a land of milk and honey, and then you got hardships and pains and disappointments. And there's a journey to get it. Because if everything is always handed to us, and life is always easy, which, sometimes I wouldn't be so adverse to having that type of life, but we wouldn't see the blessings when they come. We'd be spoiled people that sit upon our, righteous indulgence and think this is the way life is supposed to be. This is who I am. And because who I am is just enough, you're supposed to give me things. You're supposed to, treat me a certain way. And we don't realize that respect goes both ways. We wouldn't realize that respect went both ways. We wouldn't realize how sour that life would be. And so here, as we pour as we pour the milk into the water, this says here something about money. It's like you're pouring the richness into your life. You're pouring the prosperity. And yeah, oh my gosh, milk. And I didn't even notice the honeycomb on top of her head. I just thought it was a crown. But it is a honeycomb, and it is honey dripping over her third eye. That's it. My gosh, that's why Spirit said the land of milk and honey. Because it's opening up the world, it's opening up the night and the day and the power, especially of you, Taurus, when you're represented by the bull. And there is a sense of this, again, being crowned, this crowning of prosperity. As you are a craftsman of your prosperity, this is the wands? Yeah, this is the swords. As you are a craftsman of your mind, as you use this power of your mind so exquisitely and intrinsically, there is just the sense of wealth that is about you. There is a sense of, no matter which terrain you walk, no matter how you move yourself forward, there is bounty to be had, and there is beauty that is apart. And you rise with the cranes right here. I love this beautiful connection with the earth that these cards have with the Three of Air. The Three of Air, the Three of Swords, it's not an easy card. And we have the Three of Swords and we have the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups for me is not an easy card either. This is the negativity that has been spoken over us that stays in our hearts. This is the negativity that has been spoken over us that stays in our minds. And so when we have negativity in our minds and in our hearts, it makes it astoundingly hard to move forward. It makes it astoundingly hard to see the good luck that is on your side and the way you can rise and be and just embrace your life. And that's what you're doing here. You're embracing your life. You're embracing your greater understanding. You're looking at the sorrow that has shaped you for forever. And it can be things that were completely out of your control. You can sit there and say, I didn't choose the parents that I was born to. I didn't choose how I was born, but it happened. And that leaves scars. That leaves scars that run so deep and that become the cornerstone for which we judge our world off of, for which we, judge our hearts off of. And with the Three of Swords, we look at those scars and we say, you're not allowed to shape me anymore. You're not allowed to be my default, because we find people in our world that become our wound partners. And our wound partners, our wound mates, instead of our soul mates, are people who perpetuate the wounds that we have grown up with. The sense that we were mocked in school, the sense that our heart was broken when we were young and it was devastating, or when we were older and it was devastating. I mean, it can be a marriage failed where you're looking at things and it's like, how did I get here? How did I get here from when I had all these dreams? But it doesn't have to be a divorce. It can be any stage of your life where you had these plans, you had these ambitions, and life kept on kicking you in the teeth. And they say that you only need 2 good times of falling, of failing. And it doesn't have to be that everybody else looks at it and says, oh, wow, you really messed up, or that was a real fail. It can be times that people will sit there and be like, oh, buck up, you're fine, keep going, type of thing. But the failure is in your heart. And that's one of the things that you're forgiving yourself for. It's being so hard on yourself. It's, sitting there and it's having those devastations and saying, I couldn't get back up. Like, they hit me and they hit me hard. But it's not having that reel. It's not having that recording go over and over and over again in your head that says, this is it. I'm not worth anything else. I can't soar. I don't have luck on my side. Now you're calling in the luck. Now you're seeing the luck. You're releasing. You're looking at the hurt and the pain. You're naming it. You're seeing it. And you're moving yourself forward within your power, within your grace, within your understanding. And then you become, oh goodness, that startled me. And then you become the craftsman. You become the craftsman of your power, the craftsman of yourself. And here it is the queen. So the queen is the one who is behind the scenes, cultivating, creating, becoming. And that's what the craftsman does. People don't always, most likely, okay, they don't see the craftsman. It's like the people who make ballet shoes, right? I was watching a documentary on them because I find it fascinating. And they make ballet shoes. And they're done in such a way. And the ballerinas would sit there and say, oh, I like these shoes more than these shoes. And they go through them so quickly. Nobody sits there and talks about the shoes that help make the ballerina. They talk about the ballerina. They don't talk about everything else. And so here, it's kind of like you can feel overlooked because people don't talk about the person behind the scenes. But the person behind the scenes, the craftsman, is just as important as the craft that is being created around them. And so here, it's quite literally you being forged. And here you have a horseshoe being forged, right? And this is a sense of luck being on your side, of the forging fires being hot and being intense and being powerful, but that you're shaped for a reason, okay? And we go through the forge within our lives, and we go through the unbearable heat and the pounding out and the smoothing of the metal for a reason, to smooth who it is that we are, to move ourselves forward. And we are being crafted by the world, by divinity, by our souls, and by ourselves. And it's usually behind the scenes moments that people don't necessarily understand, but it's powerful, the crafting, and it's powerful for your truth. And that's what you're grounded in right here. It's like, I didn't know that I was going to be crafted this way. I didn't know the world was going to lead me forward this way. And at times there was resentment, most definitely. I mean, I know that personally. I see that with people all the time, where it has been a hard road. It has been a road filled with tears and sorrows and angers and upsets, but it is a necessary road. And it is a crafting of divinity for us to move us forward, because we become craftsmen of our world, of our minds, of our souls, of ourselves. Air. We can't live without air. I mean, we can't live without any of the elements, right? But air is something we don't think about. We don't think about the fact that if trees didn't have the air, didn't have the wind, making their bark stronger and stronger and stronger, they would fall. They would grow too fast and they would just topple over. It was seen, they made a model of our ecosystem because they wanted to know better. Scientists wanted to know better how to heal our earth. And the trees that they made, they grew so fast. The trees that they planted, they grew so fast. And they grew up to a certain height and they just fell down because they didn't have the wind buffering them. And also, the faster you grow, as one of my viewers so lovely pointed out, your roots don't have time to go deep into the earth. And so their roots were too shallow. There we go. The tree grew too fast and they just fell down. And so here, this is what we see with the air. It's like we need to have those challenges put before us, but we also need to have the challenge of the mind, because if you equate this back to the Rider-Waite-Smith deck and you equate this back to the mind and the sword is the only weapon, the only true weapon within the tarot. And you might say, why? Why is that? Because our mind is a weapon. Us as human beings, because we can think, because we can make traps, because we have these advantages, it changed our world, and it changes us, and it changes how we move forward. So we have the power, and it's from the fire that we have this power to think so craftily. Because if we didn't have fire, all right, our jaws would be overdeveloped, which wouldn't have left room for our craniums to be bigger, because we would have been taking up more room with our jaws. So our jaws became smaller because our food was cooked. We didn't have to chew and chew and chew and chew our food. And so our minds had more room to grow. So because of the fire, because of the forging, because of kind of the inconvenience that sometimes we go through, and also the fact that fire can burn and we have to learn how to use it and everything like that, it made us smarter. It made us better craftsmen of our minds. So that is where we walk into. We walk into the weapon of that. We walk into the power of that. We walk into the truth of our minds, especially in the public arena, where you're dealing with other people. You're dealing with your interpretation of words. You're dealing with their interpretation of words. You're dealing with the way that you're moving forward and the truth that you are speaking within yourself and what you are learning and taking in and everything around you. That is empowering and is, more than what you had expected. And so as you're embracing this, you're embracing you. As you're seeing this, you're seeing you in a new way. And again, the craftsman goes to the queen. It's more behind the scenes. So this is going to be a time where you might not find that you work as well with others as maybe you would like to, or your boss would like you to, or other people would like you to. This is a time where you need those quiet moments. And I know with the world in the state as it is, it's hard to find those quiet moments with everything being more confined. But there is a sense here of really going into your mind, going into the areas of this world that really inspire you, that you sit there and you're like, wow, I always loved, or I always wanted to know, or, something to that effect. And it opens up the world. And since you're so connected with your angels, it opens up the world really profoundly for you. And people will be looking at things, Taurus, and they might call you out and be like, oh, why are you spending so much time by yourself? Or, why are you thinking about this? Or why are you studying this? Or why are you going, trying this new thing where you could just be doing it the tried and true way? And you have to. It's a calling for you right now. It really is. And it embraces you into the sun. Now, in this deck, you have the metamorphosis of the human journey, and it's all different walks of people, and you have the transformation of the pilgrim, which is the beginner, okay? I believe it is called the pilgrim instead of the fool. And you have the person walking into all areas of existence and all forms of the mind, which is what we try to do as a society. We try to transform and move everyone forward. But it's such a beautiful way. And it's also the way that we see the world. And we always are transforming. We always are becoming. And so with the sun as the third card, it's like, and right here in the middle of the flowers that he has in his hands is the human heart. And we have the bird flying above. So that could very well be an eagle. It can be a hawk too. And both of those birds are birds of prey, so they see so much more clearly than we will ever see. They are the apex, sight hunters, where we're the second apex sight hunter on this planet. And so here, there is a sense of the sun shining on you. There is a sense of the passion and the beauty and the heart and the soul holding your heart, holding what it is that you most desire. Because what is the saying, right? That you can live without without the brain working, but you can't live without the heart working. We need the heart to be a part of things. And so here, there is a sense of needing this heart to be a part of your joy, a part of your soul. And that's, again, so beautifully pulled back to your chakra message of the crowning of the soul star chakra, the chakra that is above the crown. There we go. And the heart chakra that is so powerful within us. And we tend to ignore our hearts. We tend to ignore our gut feels. We tend to sit there and say, oh, I'm being silly. Or, oh, this isn't a blessing. This is always what I've been good at. Well, yes, it is a blessing. It is a blessing because it is a powerful truth within you. And that powerful truth needs to move you forward. It needs to be a part of you, soul and spirit. As you embrace your happiness, and as this happiness is called within your life. Because think of the development of people. Think of it. Okay, so think of it when you have a job that you hate, or when you're just in a place where you're sitting there and it's so wrong. It's so wrong, and you know it with every single ounce of your being. Because happiness and our embrace of happiness is so important. Little children don't run around doing everything that makes them miserable. No, they want to embrace the joy. They want to climb the trees, and they want to, ride the bikes, and they want to have fun. They want to use their imaginations. They want to be so much more. And we still have that spark within us, but we push it down and push it down. This is a reclaiming of that spark. This is a saying, I get to embrace my heart. I get to have the sun move me forward. I get to embrace this happiness and this joy and this brilliance. And it leads you to the two of air. It leads you to the mind, but it also leads you to kind of being split in two directions. At times you can see things differently, and you're moving forward in this passion and in this beauty. And the thing that I always see with the Two of Swords is like, you always thought life was going to go one of two ways. Like this was the path. This is what everybody did. This is what you were going to do because everybody does it. And there comes a time where you start looking within and you're like, no, it's not me. I can't do it. And you could have tried. I mean, oh my goodness, I know I tried. I know I tried so hard to walk the path that everybody else walked, the way that everybody else said, oh, this is how you're supposed to be as you grow up. And I was just so different. I always thought that was so bad. And now I'm starting to realize, I'm like, oh, it's not bad at all. It's just me being me. And that's what I wish upon each and every one of you as I'm looking at these cards. It's like, it's just you being you. Embrace it. As long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as you're not coming from a place of anger and despair and despondency and vengeance, as long as you're embracing a higher vibration and you're moving in love and in peace and in harmony of soul, it's moving forward in that truth. It's embracing that truth. And then, oh my gosh, not only does this kind of make a heart, but it becomes the lungs. These are the lungs. Just, hit me. These are the lungs that you take in the air and you see the way that you need to move forward. You see that beautiful inhale and exhale and that power that is your truth. And it becomes exquisite. And it becomes the path that you need to follow, not the path that other people were feeding you, not the way that you thought, okay, either A or B. It becomes the song that you sing and the power of your truth. And it leads you then to the Six of Water. Now, the Six of Cups, for me, is a bit of a tricky card because it can lead to profound nostalgia, but it can also lead to a profound sense of, but this is what they said. These were the words that were spoken over me when I was small, and everything else was so imposing and empowering. This was not empowering, but overwhelming. Like they had such power over me. And this could also be the energy of the broken hearts that you've had, the way that you've tried and failed. And so the Six of Cups brings with it the sense of, am I going to live in the past, or am I going to embrace my present? Am I going to live in doubt and despair and hurt? Or am I going to say, you know what, enough is enough. I get to embrace my truth and my power. And I get to have this wealth of knowledge to pull from, because that's what the past is for, to pull from the knowledge, to move us forward. But I can't live there, because what do they say about the past? It is a country you could never visit again. The future is what you have yet to explore and what you could hardly have imagined. But the present is where you are now. It's where you're moving your feet. It's how you're moving forward. And that's what you're embracing here. You're embracing the present. And you're saying, you know what, the past has to stay in the past. And the future, yes, I can plan for it, but I'm not going to live only for the future. And I'm not going to live only for the past. I'm going to embrace where I am right now and the power of the heart and the beauty of the soul of that. And I'm going to move myself forward. And I'm going to feed myself, and I'm going to feed my power. And I'm going to see me as a blessing instead of, whatever anybody else has spoken over you once upon a time. Because you're releasing that hurt, that negativity. You're finding that rainbow, that abundance. You're swaying in the wind. That's what the willow can do. The willow has shallower roots. It does. So it's kind of like you give and you take, whether you're the oak with really deep roots, but not any give and can topple really easy in a storm. Or you're the willow with shallower roots that can sway and go with the breeze and will release what is no longer needed, will release the branches that don't withstand. That's a really good place to be. And that's a really good calling for this card, where it's showing you, these are the people that were supposed to be on your side. These are the people who will sit there and they'll tell you it's your fault. But it's not necessarily. Okay, so when I meditate upon the Three of Cups, what happens is I would think of, those people who were supposed to celebrate me, but didn't. And so for a Taurus, this is the people who were supposed to celebrate you, but they couldn't. They couldn't be there. They couldn't be the parent that you needed, the mother, the father. They couldn't be the grandparent that you needed. They couldn't be the friend that you needed, the lover that you needed. These were people who were supposed to come out to the bat, and be on your team and play well and just propel you forward. But they couldn't, because they couldn't do it in their own lives. It wasn't you, it was them. And then when you meditate deeper on the Three of Cups, you can sit there and say, well, what about the people I let down, like I walked away from because I couldn't do it anymore? And those people are also your Three of Cups because they couldn't be what you needed. But also you have to sit there and understand that if you're raising your energy vibration and you're moving forward and you're sitting there and you're saying, I need to, then you can't hold yourself, in the hurt, in the pain, in the disappointment, in the anger of the past. You can't hold yourself and sit there and say, well, because I didn't do well then, or because I should have maybe handled it better then, I shouldn't have been so hurt, or, hemorrhaging so much pain. I can't move forward in the present that I want. That's not true. That's not true at all. And Spirit wants me to make that astoundingly clear, that there are times where, you look back and you're like, wow, maybe I should have handled that better. Maybe I should have done this better. But there were also things that needed to be done. And maybe you didn't do them perfectly. But to rip off that bandage and to move yourself forward, they needed to be done the way they were. And so look at your past and give homage. Give homage to you, because you need to move forward in your present. Because you need to, with the Four of Swords, with the Four of Air, you need to give homage to all the battles that you have been through, all the hurt, all the pain, and all the disappointment, but also the newness of you. When you sit there and you address what you have been through, when you sit there and you give it a name, you get to move forward. You get to embrace your heart. You get to be empowered by your soul. And with the Four of Air, it's sitting there and saying, life is hard. And in the moments, we don't always make the best decisions, but we do the best that we can. And it's embracing that power of soul and that purpose of self. And it's honoring yourself every single step of the way. And it's even honoring the pain. And it's sitting there. And it can be calling them into the room with you. Just taking a moment and visualizing yourself in this room and having the hurt come forward and saying, well, why? Why am I holding on to you? What do you look like? What is your voice? What is your purpose? And you might be surprised. It's like, I'm trying to protect you. I don't want you to be hurt like this again. Or, I'm keeping your voice small because what if they all laugh? And I remember how much that hurt you before. Those type of things. And it can be addressing them. It's like, well, thank you. Thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you, my psyche, for trying to protect me. But I need to move forward. I need to embrace my life. And to live in a way that you never get hurt is to really not live at all. And so here, you're embracing the land of milk and honey for you. You're embracing prosperity and success and bounty and beauty. And you're stepping into your power no matter the terrain that you walk in, no matter if it be, mountainous, beautiful terrain with the trees and everything like that, but also tough terrain, or the desert where the sun beats down on you, also beautiful terrain. But those seasons will be handled differently. And the seasons of your life will be handled differently. But if you know that you have these blessings, you have this honey, you have this sweetness opening your third eye, you have this greatness coming, from your root chakra, from your sacral chakra, even from your solar plexus chakra here, that's leading you forward, that's bringing this milk forward into your life. It's like, okay, this is how I need to walk in grace of my life and in grace of my soul. And it leads you here to going deeper into yourself. Oh, goodness. All right, let's see. Taurus. January 1st to the 15th, 2021 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 Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Oh, goodness. And show me clearly. Okay. And let me just get the cards that dropped, because those will be your bonus cards. So let's see what you have here. Okay. Okay, yeah, we'll leave them. We'll leave them up. Even though they're 4 bonus cards, which is a bit intense. But this is a very intense reading. This is a very beautiful reading, and I'm so grateful to be able to bring it to you. All right, and let's look, before we start, let's look at the people you are to be mindful of during this time. Who are the people that Taurus is to be mindful of? January 1st to the 15th, 2021 Taurus. Who are the people that Taurus is to be mindful of? January 1st to the 15th, 2021 Taurus. Who are the people that Taurus is to be mindful of? January 1st to the 15th, 2021 Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. These 4. We have here the Princess of Cups. This is a person who is huge into drama, okay? This can be an immature person or this can be a young person, but this is a person who, that's how you're going to feel about them. You're going to have no words. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, just stop, just step back and think about things a bit rationally. Like, stop trying to be right, or stop, trying to just ride the waves of emotions that are coming your way, and just think them through. And this is not going to be what they do at all. They're going to sit there and be one trauma after another, after another, after another. And you know what? You just have to step back and say, that's you. And if you're watching this person, like if you find yourself kind of like intrigued by this person on media, be very, very careful, because they're going to be draining your energy. Actually, this person is going to be draining your energy anyway. But in real life, you'll kind of know it better and think of it first, instead of thinking, oh no, this doesn't have any effect on me. You're like, oh my gosh, I feel so tired afterwards. But if you don't know this person in real life and you're just getting, like, you're fully into their world, whether it be on YouTube or, whether it be, a writer or an actor or anything like that, and you're fully into that world of drama and just too much drama, just be mindful. And also be mindful of kind of the escapism that you're going to, because it can actually be adding anxiety instead of releasing you from it. So that's what Spirit's saying here. And that might be for one very specific person. Then we have the King of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is going to be a person who's astoundingly stubborn, who does see different ways of moving things forward, but who you're going to sit there and you're going to be able to get so far with them. Because either they're going to be stubborn in the exact same way that you're stubborn and you're just going to clash heads, or they're going to, just have this totally different view on things. And you're like, no, I thought we meshed, but I just can't go there. And you shouldn't be compromising who it is that you are for who it is that they want to be, or, for the advice that somebody else is giving. It then leads you to Cernunnos. Now, this is Capricorn energy. This is a time frame of December 22nd to January 19th. This can be the person that you're coming to heads with, because this is also an earth sign energy, of course. And this is a person who either let's chaos be, because that's one of the things with Sunurus. Sunurus is the god of the forest. And a forest just is. Like, whether weeds grow in your garden or whether they don't, the forest doesn't care. The forest is going to be exactly what it is. And so here, this is a person who is exactly what they are. And whether it's for good or for bad, now either they embrace the chaos of the world, or they sit there and they try to control it. They try to put everything in a box and say it has to be, it has to be, it has to be just like this, just like this, just like this. And that's just not going to work with you. It's not. It's going to be the complete antithesis of who it is that you are, especially in this moment as you're developing, as you're growing, as you're becoming. And it's going to be somebody who really makes you question a lot of things about them, about the way that you're moving forward. And yeah, it's going to be a heavier one. And then we have the King of Wands. This is somebody who gets mad way too fast. This is somebody who can become astoundingly fiery, astoundingly quickly, and you just don't need to be a part of it. And they can just swoop everything up in the fire, and before you know it, you're getting on their bandwagon with them. And it's like, no, I need a timeout. Like, I need this to stop. It leads you here to your tarot, which is the Seven of Swords, Temperance, Sagittarius energy, the Queen of Pentacles, you coming through as a queen, which you come through as the goddess in the main deck. So that's absolutely gorgeous. You have the Ace of Swords. You have the Knight of Cups, the Four of Pentacles. You have the Devil coming through again, so beware of traps. You have the Three of Swords. And you have the Nine of Wands reverse, which, I mean, like, if there's a card that you want reverse, this is definitely one of them. This is being able to say, you know what, enough is enough, and to move forward in the triumph of your individual self. Your bonus cards are the Two of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, oh, and the Star. So I love that. I love that message right there. It's like dreams do come true. You are moving forward. There is prosperity. You don't have to give up on what it is that you love, because you're close. You're close at times here, Taurus, to just saying, you know, it's ridiculous. This is foolish, and I'm never going to get to where I need to be. And we see that here with the Seven of Swords. It's like you've been fighting so many battles for so long that you're in fight or flight mode all the time. Not only is that really bad for the body, but it's also bad for the mind, and it's bad for you. It's like, it's time to look at things and say, I will fight that fight, but I can't fight everybody else. Like, if I had to deal with all the nonsense in the world, it would be too much. So that's what you're saying to yourself. Like, if I have to deal with all the nonsense in the world, with all the people who misunderstand me, with all the people who don't see things the way that I see things, you'd never be able to move forward. You'd never be able to have the life that you want and to be able to enjoy it. And you're soaring higher than the chaos, and you're having blessings move you in a direction that you hadn't even thought of. And so here it's like, pick your fights wisely. Pick your fights wisely. Because if you don't, you're just going to be drained all the time. You're going to be sitting there and saying, well, I have to do this and I have to do that, and this has to be like this and this has to be like that. And you're just going to be exhausted. You're going to wear yourself out before you even start, because people are going to talk. Things are going to be, you know, people come up with their assumptions, whether they're right or they're wrong. So here it's like, move yourself forward. Look at what it is that you desire and say, this is where I need to stand. This is what I stand for. And that's that. And it moves you then to the Temperance. It's like, it's what's within that matters. It's that balance. It's that balance on the one leg. It's the rainbow. It's the happiness. It's the joy. But it's also the fact that, you know, flamingos aren't really this deeply pink, or, well, no, they're not in the wild, at least unless they're, you know, in captivity. But in the wild, they're just kind of tinted pink, and that's because they're traditionally white birds. But because of the food that they eat, they turn pink. And that's one of my favorite things about flamingos. They always make me think of, look within, and what are you radiating out? Because what you're putting into you. It can be, you know, the foods that you eat. It can be the spiritual energy that is around you. It can be the people that are around you. But whatever's going into your heart or into your soul or into yourself, it's radiating out. And you want to be that vibrant, beautiful pink. I mean, it's my favorite color, right? So why wouldn't everybody want to embrace it? So here, as you're embracing the Guardian, it's like, embrace your truth. Embrace yourself. Know that you're moving forward, and be very mindful of the energy and the ideas that you surround yourself with, and the people. Because as you move towards your happily ever after, you're going to be like a pig and mug. It's like, yes, this is me. This is what I want from life, and this is who I am, and this is my celebration and my coming together and my anointing of soul and being. And it leads you to the sense of, I don't need to be center stage. I don't need everybody to understand. I just need this happiness, because this happiness in my soul, in myself, oh, it's going to lead you forward. It's going to be so beautiful. You're like, this happiness in my soul, in myself, is what I'm striving for. This is what people should be working towards, instead of, more of everything. It should be happiness, contentment, beauty, soul, spirit, because in your heart you have here the Ace of Swords. You have here this beautiful knowledge coming forward, this beautiful coming together as you move forward and as you embrace this land of milk and honey, as you embrace this power and this truth, and it opens up the night and the day and the terrains of the world and the way that you want to move forward and the person that it is that you are and that you strive to be. And the Ace of Swords is the divinity cutting through doubts and fears and negativity and saying to you, there's clarity, there's truth. Now you may have moments where it's like the bull chiming. It's like crystal clear. You're like, oh my gosh, I get it. I see it. And then they might flitz away again, because it doesn't always stay with us. But those moments are so inspiring for you. They're contagious. They're like, oh, I want to chase that. I want to see that again. I want to move forward in that. And that's when you become the defender of your heart, because you're knowing that your heart and your mind are working together. And a lot of times we think, okay, either I can be emotional or I can be logical. And if we're too emotional, that's chaotic. And if we're too logical, that also brings a different sort of chaos that comes through having to have absolute control, which is one of the things that you kind of rage against during this time. It's like, I can't hold on all the time so tightly. I need to let things go and grow so that they can be. And as you embrace this, you become the defender of your heart. You start to see this truth, and you start to see where it is that you want to stand, how it is that you want to move forward as you take flight, as you look at the hurts and the pains and the disappointments that have been a part of you for too long, and you give them homage. You understand them, but you also understand that they don't get to have the ruling role in your life anymore. And it leads you to the Four of Pentacles. Now, for me, the Four of Pentacles is vampiric energy. It is those people who sit there and they drain us. But it's like, if you look at this card, it's the squirrel sitting there and he's planting his prosperity. And it's growing. It's growing in a way that he hasn't anticipated. He's sitting there thinking, oh, I'm going to have nuts for the winter. And it's growing into a tree, which is a long-term goal. And that's what you need to look at here, especially with vampiric energy, especially with people who make you feel like you have to hold on to things because you don't know how you're going to move forward. You don't know where it is that you're going to be. You don't know. And so here, as you're holding on, there's also a sense of needing to let go, and especially of those negative people, because you're forging and you're creating, and divinity is helping you create the world that you want, the place that you need to be, soul, spirit, and self. And that leads you to the devil. That leads you to this sense, and I know this is a rather graphic card, but over the craftsman, over the sun, it's like we fall back into our addictions, we fall back into the traps that are set for us in our own minds, in our own spirits, within the world around us. And this is saying it's time to get our prey. No matter how unsavory that might be to some, it is a circle of life, and it's a circle of being. And you're finding yourself here, like this bobcat, I believe this is a bobcat, where you're not falling into the traps. It's like you are embracing your truth. You are embracing your nature. You are embracing yourself. And again, as it comes from a place of love, light, positivity. And you might say, okay, well, this card isn't love and light. He's killed that poor bunny, but he also has had to eat. And he has the traps set up for him, and he's not falling prey to them. And, quite frankly, the rabbit didn't fall prey to the traps either. He fell prey to nature. And that is something that we're looking at here. It's like, it can also be that warning to not fall prey to our own nature, to the nature, like procrastinating, the nature of, that we have, that the nature that we, sit there and we think, oh, well, I can do this later, or, oh, it's not a big deal. Or, the nature of drinking too much, or smoking too much, or, what is it? The main addictions that are seen in psychological study, which is drugs, or in study, which is drugs, alcohol and gambling. And then it's the other ones that go beyond that, that are food and sex and, and shopping and all these other things that people can become addicted to have that moment of happiness. The devil is calling us to see the happiness within ourselves, to not be tempted to walk the wrong path, the easier path at times, and to say, my nature, knowing our highs, knowing our lows, knowing if we're a naturally optimistic person or a little bit more pessimistic, or you could say real, person. And so here, as you're in your study and as you're embracing the sun, there are going to be moments where you're tested, where divinity, well, it's divinity that tests, but it's the sense of, are you sure you're moving forward in the right way? Or somebody wants to kick the wind out of your sails or stop the wind from being in your sails because they don't want you to move forward. If you're happy, then they can't be happy. And that's just not true. You're seeing your power and you're embracing it. And you're moving then to the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords, as you embrace here, the Two of Swords, as you fill your lungs with the possibilities of your truth, as you see new paths arise, you honor what has fallen. And the beautiful thing about elephants is there are so many, but they know the bones of their tribe. They know of their herd. They know the elephants that they have known, even in death. And that is astounding. And this is saying that, the hurts, the pains, they stay with us. And we always acknowledge them. And here, it's just not letting them rule us. And it's seeing that power and it's seeing that brilliance. And it moves you to, instead of feeling, in the past that I have to fight against these negative words, I have to fight against, all of this, you're freeing yourself. It is a battle won. And you're sitting there and you're saying, I'm moving forward. Not tired and angry and overwhelmed, but I'm moving forward in my truth. And the world can say what it wants. I'm not actively blocking it out anymore. I'm seeing me. And I'm claiming the power of me. You can need to remind yourself of that in the public arena, because it is a hard one. I mean, you have here the Three of Swords and the Devil card. So there are a sense here of being really tested and standing in your truth and standing in your convictions of self. Because, and I'm going to do these ones rather quickly because, my goodness, this reading can go on forever, can't it? We have the Three of Cups because of the heartbreak. Not the Three of Cups, the Two of Cups, which is the love coming in, the healing, beautiful love that moves us forward. And you have that over the Three of Cups, that heartbreak, that person or those people that were supposed to celebrate us. They were supposed to be a part of us and they just couldn't be. And now it's finding our happiness, our rainbows, and it's embracing our healing as we see ourselves paying homage to the roads that we have walked and the way that we have moved forward. Because the Eight of Pentacles is like your hard work is paying off. The healing matters. What you have been through matters. And it connects you with the understanding and the connection of soul. It brings you then to the Seven of Cups. It brings you to bringing your dreams out of dream world into the realm of reality. And for me, fireflies always have this beautiful connection with the spirit realm. And so you're connecting with the spirit realm. You're connecting deeply with your ancestors. You're moving yourself forward in a profound and brilliant way. And you're sitting there, and instead of saying, my dreams are something sacred that I keep in the back, in the corner of the recesses of my mind that I get to go to and just connect with and sit there and say, okay, I'm connecting with my dreams. I'm connecting with my hopes. This is what I want, but I'm not going to bring it. And we don't even know that we're doing it. It's saying, like, the world will ruin it if I bring my dream forward. And so I'm going to keep it safe. And now it's sitting there and saying, I get to bring my dream forward because my dream is meant to be lived, not kept safe in a box hidden away. It's meant to become part of my soul. And it brings you then to the star, to the highest form of man's perfection. You have the oyster right there and the pearl. Now, how is a pearl made? A pearl is made when a bit of sand gets into the oyster and it just irritates the heck out of that oyster. And so it coats it with mucus and coats it with mucus. And it winds up making a pearl, which is priceless. And so here, as we follow our light, as we see the transformative power of all, the hurt, the pain, the upset that we have been through, we embrace our hearts, we embrace our souls, we embrace the beauty that is coming in. And we get to be made into pearls. And those people who really agitate us, even though we don't want to, give them any credit, they're helping to make us into pearls. They're helping us to move forward into a priceless beauty. And that is extraordinary. And so let's see here, your subconscious message. oh, not your subconscious message, your spirit animal message. Taurus, January 1st to the 15th, 2021. Taurus, January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. We have here the coyote spirit. Trust in divine detours. Oh my goodness, isn't that important? Trust in divine detours. They happen for a reason. And, have faith. Isn't it a saying in the Bible, have faith as small as a mustard seed. And you will see that great things happen. Have faith that this wasn't a mistake. Then we have the bear spirit, the brown bear spirit. Take time out. Take time out to remember the oath that you planted over your heart, to remember the power within your soul, what you are planting within your garden, the truth of you, the power of you. Step back and look and really see who it is that you are and where it is that you're headed in the dreams that you have, and not to poo-poo them, but to embrace them. And then it leads you to the squirrel spirit. Believe in yourself. Because you're planting the seeds, you've planted them over your heart. Look at that. That paw print can also look like an acorn. You've planted them in your heart. And now it's time to believe in you. It's not, oh, I'm not good enough for this, or, oh, there's no beauty to me, or this is for everybody else, but I just can't, and I'm just not able to. It's to let that beauty, to let that power be a part of your soul. And to believe in yourself that the impossible can be possible, that dreams do come true. Because of the detours and everything like that, they might not be the way that you expected it, but they do come true, they do come forward, and it's exquisite. Now your subconscious spirit animal message is the wombat spirit. Be at home. Be at home within yourself. Be at home within your home. Connect yourself with your earth, with the earth, with your space, and be at home within your soul. Calm the chaos. Your subconscious person message is the Prince of Pentacles. Slowly and steadily, Taurus, you are moving forward in your prosperity, in your abundance. Right? You are laying a solid foundation that no one will tumble. It leads you then to your subconscious chakra message, which is divine wisdom, which is once again the soul star chakra located 6 inches above your crown. I love that you have the repeat of 2 chakras here coming forward, the soul star chakra and the heart chakra. If you meditate upon your chakras, meditate upon these. This is a sense of you moving forward in power, of you being divinely guided, of wisdom coming your way, of you, sitting there and being curious about things. And you're like, I don't know why I'm curious about this. It's because divinity is guiding you. It leads you then to your subconscious tarot message, which is the first card. Number 1, not the magician, but the world. It is leaving the world that you knew to embrace this sojourn, this journey of the soul, of the self, of this connection with nature, of your true nature, of what it is that you really desire within your life, of how it is that you want to move forward, of the earth that we walk on, the earth that sustains us, and the power that is a part of us. You're transforming, and you're on this journey so exquisitely that it is beautiful. It really is beautiful. At times, the journey can move you to tears, but it's going to be a powerful truth and a powerful way forward. To go deeper into this message, you have the Emperor, which is Aries energy coming through. Once again, you have that come through in the people who will aid you. And this is a sense of power and passion and determination and being the ruler of your world. Why? Because you might think, okay, I can't really rule, but nobody else can rule over you. This is a powerful truth. This is a passionate understanding. And you're embracing the Emperor here. You're embracing the sense of claiming your throne, of knowing your truth, whether it be small right now or whether it be larger, and walking forward in the power of your world exquisitely. All right, Taurus. I hope this reading has resonated with you. It's a little bit longer, I know, than some of you guys like, but Spirit had a lot to say. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy. As you step into the power of you, as you bring your dreams into the forefront of this world, and as you live in your truth, not on the defensive, but in the power of your soul and in the steadfastness of your heart, as you forgive the past and you embrace the present, and as you embrace a beautiful dream. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you, knowing that the journey that you are on is one that is divinely guided, and that can be quite intense to walk. All right, so again, take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Taurus.